When you talk about the T-shirts, that's one thing with Nick Sirianni, but to talk about his coaching style and play calls, I mean, some people came at me on social media yesterday because I said I've never seen a head coach ignore the run like Nick Sirianni did Monday night. They said, what about Andy Reid? And I said, no. Andy Reid, Doug Peterson abandoned the run, like meaning at one point they were with the run, but they got away from it. Sirianni was never with it. When I was watching that game, I couldn't believe it. I did hearken back in my mind to Reid and to Peterson. Not running the football as an offensive line. I know Lane Johnson has been a guy to say something to Doug Peterson in years past, like, hey, we got to run the football. What were you thinking when you looked up after the first half and you said, Miles Sanders has 2 carries? 2 carries? Yeah. They had 18 plays. 2 of them were handoffs to Miles Sanders. That's it. And then in the second half, forget about it. This was the lowest amount of runs by percentage in 15 years in the NFL. One of the four lowest in the last 15 years in the NFL. What did you make of Nick Sirianni's game plan or lack thereof against Dallas?
I felt like you really put when watching the game, I'm like, wow, he really is trying to put a lot on Hurts right now, to just say, all right, go out there and win the game with your arm. Do you not trust what your offensive line can do? When it comes to run game, I mean, when you came out there and you go back and you watch the Atlanta game, I mean, they really got it off. They got the ball moving with a lot of inside zone runs. Very simple concept, because you go back and you look at what Dallas did. They went out there and smashed them with just inside zone runs. So why not do the same with your team? You're putting your team in a situation where you got Andre Dillard out there. This is his first time coming back with all the questions that's going on with him. You got Dickerson over there at right guard, that's a little different. It's his first start. Why get out there and put him in a situation where you're passing the ball all the time? Let them come off. Let them run the ball, create some movement. Get some positive movement instead of trying to always put the ball in the quarterback's hands.
Right. A couple of takeaways that I have from working with you was everyone should be wearing knee braces on the offensive line, which is something you always said. You always talked about TEs and ETs. That's right there. And who's the looper and the whole thing. Then because you were not a mortal, you were someone who was immortal. You're not a mere mortal like myself. You liked pass blocking more than run blocking.
Yes.
But when it comes to guys like Landon Dickerson, Andre Dillard, and then also Nate Herbig, if those guys are in, don't you think that they rather establish some type of rhythm by maybe doing a little run blocking throughout the game?
Yeah, absolutely. Because everything can be built off of it. If you can go out there and you create movement off the run, then now you get a couple run, play action. That's all Dallas was doing. Give them that same type of game plan. Inside zone. Very, very simple concept. And I think that the broadcast team did a really good job of explaining it when they came out there and did the X's and O's and was showing, hey, man, all it is you're creating combination blocks, working up to the linebackers. And every time, even when I'm designing runs and I'm drawing all this stuff up, my whole thing is I want to get the running back to the safety. If I get the running back to the safety clean, you're in trouble. You're in trouble, and it's going to be a problem for a very long time. So, I think that they just did not try to establish the run game, but not when you only have 3 rushes, and then you're trying to put a lot on a second-year guy. I mean, Jalen Hurts, I love him as a person. I think that he's extremely smart. I mean, like I tweeted something out earlier, like anytime you read a quote from him, it's like reading the back of a Snapple cap. You always walk away with a nugget. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like he is full of one-liners. I mean, it's amazing, The whole, when you take a deuce, you don't sit there and look at it, you flush it. I'm like, wow, that is so damn profound.